Hi friends, this is Calpun Pizzo. At 7 years old, hey, I'm nothing but an evolved mutated primate. I want to bring you some truth. I love my feet. Excellent. These bodies are pretty good. They're good for locomotion. Go everywhere. Part of our senses. Well, today I want to talk about another product of Christ's psychosis. Infected the brain, which is pedophilia, which is actually the molestation of children's mind and bodies, all due to Christianity, created in the 4th century, 325, by the criminal psychopath Constantinus. But anyway, we're going to go from that. I want to talk about that today. One must study history to understand how religion was created. It was an act of masturbation. The milk was sacred, semen was sacred, and all of that. So study history. Hi friends at Facebook and YouTube. I want to make this for your education, everybody, just to stimulate your brain. Okay. You know that I always say we must begin with the idea that we create the mind thinking with our brains. Besides the magical beliefs of God and whatever you want. Imagination. We are product of sperm and egg, fertilization and all that. But anyway, I want to bring you just a little picture, little clips of a video that I took at the Louvre Museum, 1994. I did not know then what I know now. We always evolve. We have to accumulate knowledge. That's the purpose of life. If you don't learn, you become retarded. You're stuck in the past. This is the problem with all religions. They never have a progress. They never evolve. We must evolve. We cannot be stagnant. So anyway, we know as a fact, in ancient times, the ancients, 30, 40,000 years ago, they saw the penis and vagina, the organs of generation, as gods. And they were in the sky. And they both, the penis, it shot milk, a milky fluid. Today we know it's semen, but in ancient times, it created orgasm and it was the gods, the milk of the gods. Now, when it all in the brain. So if you take any psychoactive substances, in those times that they know, many times they took mushrooms, like Amanita muscaria mushrooms, they fell from, no, they didn't fall. They grew underneath many trees. So in Greece and in the ancient world, they believed that this little, they're ripe. The mushroom ripe and they look reddish color. So they look like a golden apple that fallen from the tree. So if you start eating that and you munch whatever, all of us, you have a trip. So it will affect your brain and all your kind of spirits and whatever your beliefs are. So in the Greek mythology, they saw Hercules as a man with all these adventures, a demigod. In other words, he was a son of a god that copulated with the mortal women. So that's a semi-god, half god. There are dime a dozen in those days, born of virgins and all that. Many. But anyway, Hercules was in the search. What happened is that it's a long story. You can read it in the Greek mythology. Hesiod, talking about the god. Just Google Hesiod. theogony. Then you'll see about the story of Hercules. And they believe that he went through all these troubles to get the apple of the Hesperids that will give you all this life and all that, and fought the Hydra and etc., etc. But in ancient times, you have the penis that gets erect and gives you all these blessings of orgasm. It's a tremendous pleasure. You feel it in the brain, but they had no idea. It's, nature giving you that pleasure so you procreate. You can create more people. And it happens in all animals, even in insects. Everything has this pleasure, and you fall for it, and then you procreate. You pass your DNA, your genes. But also, in ancient times, they saw the lady's breast that is round, had a little nipple, and it resembled an uncircumcised penis. The same thing. Exactly. And it also creates milk. You feed your children with milk. So this was the belief in ancient times. So this was actually sacred. So all the religions were started, the idea started 30,000, 40,000 years ago. They started with the idea of course, the sex, and then, entheogens and stimulating the mind and all this psychotropic substance, and all of a sudden, religion came created. Religion was created, the gods and all that. And then on top of that came agriculture. Many people say that agriculture came first, but now they have proven that first was religion. And religion propelled the mind into all these different things. And the fields and planting trees, doing all that, domesticating animals, all that happened later. But first was religious psychosis. And when a person was born, for instance, this is a good example here, and I'm going to present that I saw in the Louvre Museum, a hermaphrodite. An amazing piece of a sculpture that can tell you the amazing art in classical Rome. Wonderful, until the Christ-psychotic imbeciles destroyed the Roman Empire in the 4th century, stagnating the intellect and putting the Dark Ages and ruining everything. These people are despicable. So anyway, you will see an image. If a person we're bisexual by nature. If you study biology. And you know that the blastosis, and the way the brain forms in the spinal cord and shoots the liquid up to there and forms the brain, and then the bottom parts are forming the sexual organ that becomes as a penis. And then all of a sudden transform and makes the clitoris and opens up into the vulva. So anyway, there's a male, female. But sometimes things get a little bit screwed up, and then a baby is born with two sexes. The vaginal canal doesn't close and all that, and then you have a penis, and a vagina. So it's a hermaphrodite. If somebody was born like that in ancient times, it was like, oh man, what happened? So they were considered gods. But in some times they were considered, in the Christian, they were considered demons. So they were killed. But here is a beautiful piece of sculpture that shows a hermaphrodite. In other words, a god. A person that has a youth that has the penis Christ that produces milk, and also the breast that also shoots the sperm. In other words, has penis Christ of the god Apollo, the sun god, and also has Venus with the nipple shooting milk. Here is the sculpture. What a work of art. In the Temple of Diocletian, about 280s CE. Look at that work. It's a hermaphrodite. So it was divine, both sexes. Children in ancient Rome represented the gods when they were young. So you would never see them being abused sexually, ever. In this case here is an hermaphrodite. It's the only time that you will see a sculpture of a child depicted erect, with an erect penis, which is the organ of creation. And because this is a god that has both sexes, he has the breast of Venus along with the penis, it is depicted erect. That's the only instance, but he was adored. He was seen as a god with both sexes, respected. So children in ancient Rome, there was no pedophilia, as we know it today in the 21st century, thanks to Christianity. Christianity invented that, because the church saw hermaphrodites as evil and satanic. Also, the people who suffer birth defects, and they were killed. The Christianity also burned books, and they were anti-science, theotarded individuals. All the emotions and gods and the stars were personified. In this case, we see one of the goddess Aphrodite. As you can see, the bust was never exaggerated. Men will never represented with large penises and females with large breasts. This is a modern invention, a Christian invention. And you can see them using also hallucinogenic fruits and materials that like consider apples, but they were actually hallucinogenic mushrooms, as this goddess is holding the apples of Apollo, the apples of the Hesperids actually. But this perversion and intellectual stagnation is a creation of the Christ of the Christians, Christ psychotic, that stagnate the intellect, grown on their trees. So anyway, that was pretty interesting visiting those museums, you know. But we had to keep remember that we are, oh gosh, let's scratch my, you know, we are evolved mutated primates that create thinking with our brain. We're nothing but crazy apes that create God with a brain. And I tell you, it is terrible. Evolution is pretty nice, but look at this. Since we're walking all the time, walking bipedalism, look at that. It made it into a flat thing because you wear shoes and all that stuff and just walk. And it would be awesome to have another, you know, have the feet like a hand, like the apes had. So imagine you have these longer things like that, and I can walk around and scratch my leg, walk on the other one. Oh boy, God, that feels good. And then, you know, and then do something. Have like 4 hands instead of walking nonsense here and a stupid brain. Like, especially if you're infected with Christ psychosis or believing God nonsense, then you're really screwed up in this 21st century. But the feet, I sure wish. Then you can ride with them, and you know, like some people that lose some hands, and they actually ride with the feet and train the feet to do all this stuff. It's absolutely amazing what the brain can do, reroute everything. But anyway, that was when I was at the Louvre Museum doing my research, 1994. But now you see the apples of Hesperids. If you ingest entheogens, you can create gods. And the problem is that children are molested because of Christ's psychosis, believing in resurrecting zombies that say with blood, which also creates sadomasochism. That's the reason you beat ladies and cause pain, and with people you go hunting animals, kill animals, have bullfights and all that. Thanks to Christianity, it's a despicable cancer of the brain that must be extirpated. And scholars and stupid atheists don't realize it because they have tunnel vision, like Dawkins, Harris, and Dennett, and all that. These people are, you know, they're like this. And it's their fault. We're in the 21st century. The brain creates God. If you believe in God in the 21st century, you have a problem with the brain. And then you molest children and you all do this crazy stuff, which is obvious. But anyway, here are the apples of the Hesperids. Now, here I am at the Capitoline Museums. There's the Emperor Commodus. He was the son of Marcus Aurelius. The guy was totally crazy. He believes he was Hercules. That's the reason he has a lion thing and the club. And he's also carrying the apples of the Hesperids, which are the apples in the search, actually nothing but mushrooms, and Amanita muscaria type of mushrooms, that he can actually see God, and that he fought the Hydra. So it's really interesting Greek mythology that comes from that, which is all contained in the stupid Bible that people believe, the Christ psychotic believe is true. No, it's all taken from Greek mythology. But here are the mushrooms. There's a beautiful museum that is fantastic. Here are the apples of the Hesperids, which Hercules got after fighting a Hydra in a garden. The Hydra, the snake, is simply symbolizes the penis. And all the stories of the Bible are taken from Greek mythology. Here's Hercules with the snake. This is the problem with Christianity. They infect the mind of children.
They make them stupid people. There is no God.
I mean, there have been a whole
Study science. When the body dies, it decomposes.
And so far, nobody.
That bacteria is the only life after death you have. So you only have one life, you moron, stupid, Christ-psychotic, infected imbeciles. Deal with it. We're in the 21st century.
A career ender for him.
People that believe in God should be put in mental institutions. They're morons, and they're screwing up the country with their stupid beliefs.
But so far, no one's been fired.
As you know, the remains of our soldiers that died thanks to Christ-psychosis infected Bush, an ignoramus that was elected president that screwed up the country for 8 years. Anyway, see, these Christ-psychotic infected imbeciles are just the work bearing the soldiers are just like Phelps. You know, the Christ-psychotic infected moron that, he protests the funerals at the military bases. Well, these people over here that work bearing the remains of soldiers, and they put them in a landfill, they probably feel inside their head, well, these guys are in a war, they are satanic, and they are evil and all that, so they put the remains in dumps. You will never see a Muslim do that. You will never see a Hindu do that. People infected with Hindu psychosis or Buddhist psychosis or Islam psychosis, any of those. It only happens in a Christ psychosis infected imbecile moron. They're stupid people, and this is the problem in this country, United States of America, because they're all over the Congress. These people should not be allowed to have a license to practice anything or to be elected for office. They should get their brains fixed first. They're psychopaths. They're schizotypal, sick people that believe in resurrecting zombies. That is the problem. And they ignore it. They don't see it. All the chief of staffs, the generals, and what, they're all Christians. Christians! All these generals, they are like this. They're like the Crusaders. They believe in resurrecting zombies and saved with blood. These guys in the 21st century are generals, chief of staff, and people they are stupid, ignorant morons. They might know about fighting the enemy and the taxi and all the drones and all that, but they're stupid because they don't have a brain to actually know what war is, how you fight people. They have no idea. They're stupid, ignorant people. That's what our mentally healthy, in other words, an atheist, biracial president, which is summa cum laude genius, very intellectual, have to deal with it. A Congress infected with morons and theotarded imbeciles. What can he do? Poor guy. I feel sorry for him.
Look at this moron. He looks like Bush. Another Christ-psychotic.
Press on and understand.
You want this moron to be president?
Things facing this country.
This psychotic man suffering from Christ-psychosis?
Department of Energy at
defective brain?
Appropriate time.
Couldn't remember Bob's
neurologist.
I had seen him just 3 months ago.
And this moron doesn't know that the brain creates thoughts.
Bob's name, and it's
talk to Dr. Sapolsky. He doesn't understand that people that believe in resurrecting zombies have a problem.
A classic example.
Just like a schizophrenic. He never mentions that.
And then failing to process and recall the information come test time.
What kind of a neurologist are those?
He is going to be expected to perform on the world stage if he's elected.
He's a schizophrenic.
Authority figure like that. And many times it's kids who come.
They see homosexuality as a sin and a perversion. What's wrong with people that
to these figures and
that believe stuff like that?
To me, I can get.
They have to be in the Middle Ages. They're psychotic. They're schizophrenics.
What I want to do.
There's no difference that
think about the charity.
People that believe in resurrecting zombies because of all the problems.
Now here is the problem. Joe Paterno. He's Italian, Christ-psychotic. Italian, paterno, of the father, means father, his family. They're all Christians, they're all Catholic Christians, Christ-psychotics. And the majority of the United States of America, the people are all Christians. They're all Christ psychotics with different denominations, all of them. And the Christianity is the cause of pedophilia and sadomasochism and crazy, stupid, theotarded thinking. People that believe in God and resurrected zombies have a problem with their brains. They're stuck in the Middle Ages. So anyway, we are in the 21st century. They are anti-science morons. So Penn State University, all Christians all over the place. So what happens? You know, they're stuck with the idea of children, you know, baby Jesus. You know, you worship the blood is sacred. They have the circumcision, all that crap, and you whip people, and the Catholic Church whip people, if you get horny and your dick goes like this, and this is the flesh, and you have to punish it. This is the thinking of these stupid people. And the Catholics, which means universal Christianity, are much more intelligent than the Protestants. The Protestants are stupid people that are like this, and they believe everything literally, the Bible literally. So they're stupid. They think the earth is 6,000 years old. They are morons. These people belong in a mental institution. Fix their brains. We're in the 21st century. They're corrupting the mind of children. So Catholics are not the only ones that do that. All over the world, they pervert children. They're pedophiles. They molest children because they believe that homosexuality is a sin. And since they're being conditioned with this, and when they have little kids running around, their mind goes like, oh, the innocent little kid, and you see the little peepees and running around and taking a shower, and they get turned on because they repress their desires. They repress their desires. They don't mess around with a girl until because they have to be pure before you get married and all that. It's all Christianity bullshit. One wife, one man. They don't realize that we need few ladies, lots of them, and pay for them. See, they don't believe in prostitution. Bullshit. It's anti-nature. Have a bunch of, in the United States, there was an infected, stupid country, theotarded and imbeciles. They should have, selling ladies who show their bodies. That would be so much better.
And then in 2002, the graduate assistant saw another sex act being committed.
They failed to see
by Jerry Sandusky.
The elephant in the room.
But nothing happened.
The religion of the people. They're all Christians, Christ psychotics.
Never been associated with the.
So, believing God is a psychosis. Disgusting. Psychosis. We are evolved, mutated primates. We are thirsty, bloodthirsty animals. It is in our nature. And, like in ancient times, in ancient Rome, children were protected. They were part of the gods. They're naked gods running around. Today, this is not so because the stupidity with sin and crap like that. You should have male and female prostitutes. It's a normal thing. You should order, it would be really nice to have, instead of ordering pizzas, you can order you males and females, and you have all the internet, all the different figures, and you want steak or lobster. If you want a dick, you have a dick, and you have a vagina, you have a vagina. They all are conducive to orgasm. Blessed orgasm, like in ancient times. We're all bisexual by nature, so you can take steak or lobster if you want. It should be all there. But no, this is suppressed. So children are molested. It never happened. And the worst part is that not only screwing up, trying to suck the little peepees, like these coaches and a lot of pastors do, and all these priests and all that in the Catholic Church, all these people, they are suppressed their urges, but they believe in the naked little baby Jesus. They're so sacred. Oh gosh, we bow to them. Let's suck a little peepee. The cause is religious beliefs. Christianity is the cause. A mentally healthy atheist will never do that. And this piece of shit guy, assistant to Paterno's, the assistant, that saw this other guy messing around with this little kid, sucking this little pee-pee, this 10-year-old boy on the shower. He didn't say anything. He just saw it, and he went around his way a few years ago. This is disgusting. This guy should have grabbed a baseball bat and smashed that piece of shit in the head. But of course, oh boy, he would have been convicted, all that, the Christian pieces of shit judicial system we have in this country, they would have condemned and all that like they usually do. This is the problem in this country. There are stupid people infected with Christ psychosis. A person that molests a child and corrupts a child like they do in ancient, the punishment like they used to do in ancient Rome, because kids were sacred. Even though Rome had all these, gladiatorial combats and all that stuff, but they were very intellectual people, and they protected children. They were considered gods. The punishment should be for a guy that molests children is grab him and put him, instead of having these football games and baseball game and a stupid puerile, stupid things like that. No, have gladiatorial combats in the stadiums. Have a men's game, a bloody game, instead of bullfights and crowd. No, have those guys and having to fight to the death with somebody else, and have a robot molesting them and poking and fucking them. The guy that molests a child, after all the death row inmates are, fighting each other while they're in the stadium, then you have a halftime, you have the people that molest kids and all that stuff, having them molested by a robot. The robot would you do this and screw them up, and after they're killed and all that stuff, dump them put them in the trash. Nothing. That's the only way you can actually remove this disgusting, psychotic, Christianity-infected psychopath from society. And these are the ones that molest the babies' bodies. What about the pieces of shit that molest the children's brain? And they are the churches, the pastors, and all these morons that keep the brain stagnating, the brain creating all this fear, and they're turning the kids into psychopaths when they're 12, 13, 14 years old. If they have a weak brains, they're believing all this resurrecting zombie crap of sin and all this shit, then they turn into psychopath. They might see a guy that is gay and beat him up in school. That's what they do. Christians do that. Or hang him. If he's black, hang him from a tree because it's inferior. If he's a Jew, they killed Christ, let's bomb his house. That's Christianity for you, a psychosis, psychopathy. That's what I'm going to fight with my videos. So, hey, let's keep it healthy. And atheists, get some balls. Tell it like it is. But if you believe in God, you have a problem with your brain. That's what you have. Any atheist should say that. We're evolved, mutated primates that create this disgusting disease, the psychosis of God belief, with the brain, not the ass. It comes from here. Atheists, say it like it is. Let's save the United States of America from these perverts and psychotic Christian imbeciles.
Religious psychosis of the person involved in these acts. Never.
The police weren't called. I don't think I've ever seen.
Against Jerry Sandusky there from Penn State, along with two other top administrators.
Religion is ever mentioned.
To process there some very
the psychosis of believing in a resurrecting zombie.
Senior legal analyst.
Here are the Christ-psychotic infected morons that prove my point. They want prayers to solve everything. They're stuck in the Middle Ages. Prayer vigil at Penn State for the sex abuse scandal. See what I mean? Typical Christ-psychotics. What these morons, Christ-psychotic infected idiots do? Christianity is responsible for all the problems they're having. Pedophilia, sadomasochism, etc., etc., etc. They believe in resurrecting zombies. What do you think? A prayer vigil is going to solve the sexual abuse problems? Is that what these dumb, stupid, Christ-psychotic infected imbeciles think? They believe there is a resurrecting zombie is going to come in, and solve all the problems of pedophilia? This is the problem. These people belong in a mental institution. They should get their brains repaired. Prayer vigil. Stupidity. Is stupidity. That's the problem. Christianity, Christ psychosis, crazy thinking, stupid thinking stuck in the Middle Ages. Rest my case. Remember, everything rests in education. If you want to be a teacher, you cannot believe in God. If you start believing in imaginary friends or something like that, you are no different than schizophrenia, you cannot teach. They will never should get you a license. Number one, close all the churches. Turn them into museums, something that people, can see the psychosis, how everything went, all that. Pastors and all that people should be all committed. Anybody that believes in God and all that crap like that, they have to be examined by mentally healthy, in other words, an atheist, neurologist. They're the only ones can tell fact from fiction. The only one that are sane. They should be cured. Yeah. Any university, Methodist University, Notre Dame, and people that have any connection with a religious psychosis infection, they should be shut down. Don't give them a license to accredit the university. No. Put them in this science fiction bullshit in acting and drama and all that. Turn all these people into drama, make-believe world. Then it's okay. Because they're not saying all this bullshit as reality. No, the fairy tales as if they were reality. Teaching all these people this nonsense, corrupting their minds. That's the way it should be. So let's keep it healthy. And we have to save the United States of America. We're going downhill. Thanks to all these imbeciles. Because the people running for office here, running for president, the GOP. So we are evolving to the primates that create the mind with the brain. Let's keep that in mind to be healthy. And I wish this were bigger, because then I can actually say, hey, pachydeorum. And I have longer toes and I go like this. Pachydeorum. Hey, all the best to you, my friends. Pachydeorum. Happiness is the same, in other words, an atheist brain.